Hey guys, what is going on? My name's Tyler McNabb, and this is my YFZ450R. So, leaving off where the last video, or starting off where the last video left off, in the last video we went ahead and we got this guy buttoned up. If you didn't see the last video, we had a steering stem stop cracked, and so we got that all welded up. We got it gusseted up, all that fun stuff. So that was the last video. This video, however, I told you in the last video, I had some new parts that I was going to be putting on this thing. Super excited for. And so let's go over to the bench real quick and see what we got. So here we have, boom, an IMS oversized tank. So if you remember in my last couple race vlogs, I said that I was finishing with the low fuel light on. Well, hopefully this will take care of that. So I'm not doing the quick fill system yet. I've got a screw cap adapter that goes on this. If you're not aware of what a quick fill system is, look up IMS quick fill system. Just go Google it. You will see it. It is pretty sweet. It's a way to refuel these tanks in a matter of like 4 or 5 seconds. So super cool there. I'm not going with the quick fill system yet since I don't need to refuel, but this is an oversized tank. So the stock tank is like 2.6 gallons if I remember right. And then this tank, however, is like 3.8 gallons. So almost like over a gallon more of fuel that I'll be able to fit in here. So that'll be plenty for me, and shouldn't have any issues with running out of fuel. So we have that we're going to install today. We got the screw cap that we're going to put on. And then what we also have is from PEP Performance is their easy pull clutch arm. And the way it's an easy pull clutch arm is, as you can see, is it's just longer. And so since it's longer like that, that gives you a little bit more torque on that clutch lever, and so just makes the pull a little bit easier. So we're going to be installing that as well on the quad. But yeah, the main thing is going to be getting this IMS tank installed. So what we're going to do is we got to get the old tank off first. We got to get that fuel pump out, get the fuel pump in the new tank, and then slap it on the quad. So with that, we will go ahead, jump right into the video, and start at it. So here we go. Okay guys, well, I think we got all these sweet parts installed. So here we have, I'll start down here. We have our PEP easy pull clutch lever, and I can definitely tell a difference. It is significantly easier to pull it. It may not be perfectly adjusted. I need to go out and ride it a little bit. I can't currently do that because I'll explain in a minute, but I'll have to adjust that before the race this weekend, but I think it's actually pretty darn good. So we got that, and then the big thing in this video is our oversized IMS tank. So got this bad boy installed, got the new fuel pump, we got our screw cap adapter installed on top as well, and then as you saw there at the end of the video, that is kind of, it's a budget quick fill system is essentially what it is. So actually I'll show you what these gas cans are. They're kind of nice for filling up your quad. And so what this is it's what's known as a tough jug. So what happens is you turn it upside down, it doesn't leak or anything. You set this inside the top of your gas tank and push down, and it opens and fuel comes out. And the nice thing too is as long as the vent line is hooked up in there, it won't overfill either. You just hold it in there until it stops filling, and then you pop it right out and it's good to go. So these are, here's the sticker for it, Tough Jug. I think they're only like 40 or 50 bucks, so really not that expensive even compared to like a race gas can or something. So this is what I like to use. And it's a budget quick fill system if you're a racer and you don't have the money to blow on an IMS quick fill system, which, don't get me wrong, the IMS quick fill system is much, much better. It will fill the tank very, very fast. I don't know how fast that filled the tank. It was probably like 10 to 15 seconds, somewhere in there. An IMS quick fill tank will fill that tank from empty in like 4 or 5 seconds, I think. So super, super quick. But that's much better than pouring. So we got that, and I'm able to do that now with the stock tank and the handlebars. You actually can't do it on a YFZ, at least with the flex bars. I know you can't. Stock handlebars you probably would be able to, but with the flex bars and a stock tank, you can't use those tough jugs. So I'm glad I'm finally able to use that. So we got that going for us. Some stuff you saw me do in the video, you saw me trying to solder anyway. I've done a little bit of soldering, but I'm not great at it, that's for sure. And so what you do is actually these YFZs, every now and then they're known for the connections inside of the tank going to the fuel pump. Every now and then they'll slip off, and when they slip off, there's nothing you can do. Because it's inside the fuel tank, so it's not like you can just go in and hook it back up. You can, but I'm saying, like, if it slips off during a race, you're screwed because fuel pump stops and it won't run. So what you do is you go in, you solder those connections together, and it makes it pretty much so it's very, very hard for them to come off. I won't say they won't come off, but I'll say very, very hard for them to come off. So I did that as well. And I think that's about it for kind of the stuff I was doing. Oh, and then also you may have saw me using a jigsaw on my plastics. So one thing you do have to do for the IMS tank is, as you can see, this is not the stock fuel tank hole. You have to cut out a bigger hole in the top of the plastics, but especially if you have graphics, it really doesn't look bad at all. Honestly, especially from a distance, it just looks like it's supposed to be there. And that is so you can fit the top of the tank in. So this is like normally where the top of the stock tank would go. As you can see, you got all this extra up here, and then that also tilts the fuel cap back so that you can use the quick fill system. So, and another thing I wanted to mention also is, you might have seen me putting this piece of hose on. So that is for the tank. And so as you can see, I had to drill into the tank to install this vent. And so when you run these quick fill systems, or even just this adapter, it is a non-vented cap. So your normal gas cap has a hole right here that vents to atmosphere, so that when fuel comes out, air is still going in, so that the pressure is equal inside the tank. And so with these quick fill systems, especially when you do actually get the quick fill system, you need a big vent because you're throwing a lot of fuel in there very, very fast. And so you need air to come out really quick. So what a lot of people do is you get that vent right there, and if I just left that vent open, fuel would be pouring out of there when I was riding and stuff. So what you do is you put a little piece of tubing on there, wrap it up around the handlebars, and that's just a little bit of a vent. If you see anybody with this tubing wrapped around their handlebars, it's because they have a quick fill, or at least an oversized tank. So that's what that is for as well. Got that as well. And yeah, I think we are this thing is about ready to go for the race this weekend. So hopefully I'm going to get this video out the Friday before the race. Hopefully that's when you're watching it. Unfortunately, I cannot start this right now. And also I told you in the last video and at the beginning of this video, I believe, that I had a part coming from BNR Motorsports. So what that part is actually my Vortex. So as you can see, I currently do not have a Vortex in here. So I have some good news and some bad news for me. I mean, it doesn't really affect you guys, but for me. So my Vortex, I sent it in. I had a little bit of a break. I was going to send it into BNR, have them tune it for me, do a custom tune, and send it back to me, and so that it was running better than it was. I have a good base tune to go off of, and also hopefully it was going to fix that 24-volt starting issue. So sent it in to them, call them on Monday to see where it's at. And if you guys have seen my Vortex, it's pretty rough. It looks like it's been beaten to death. And I think that was because one of the previous owners, instead of having it mounted like I do now, they just had it slid in the tool pocket that sits right here. And that just, I think it just caused that thing to just swing around, get beaten up like crazy. And so anyway, it's so beaten up that when Ryan at BNR plugged into it, it wouldn't even recognize that it was a Vortex. The Vortex still works. It runs, the quad runs, but he can't tune it. So he's sending it back. It's supposed to be back tomorrow, which will be Thursday before the race. So cutting it kind of close. It was actually, I was thinking it was going to be here today, but shipping got delayed. So, yeah, supposed to show up tomorrow. So I'm going to put that back in. And then Friday, actually, I kind of broke down and bought a new Vortex. I splurged a little bit. I probably should have waited because this one does work, but I want the whole shots, man. And I'm hoping this Vortex, this new Vortex with a fresh tune will fix my 24 volt starting issues, because when you go from the old 400, which unfortunately is down right now, ripping hole shots all day long, to this thing that won't start on 24 volt system and you got to use 12 volt, it's a real downer. So hopefully we'll get this thing fixed. I have a new Vortex on the way from BNR with the custom tune, and it's supposed to be here Friday. So if it shows up Friday, it should be here right before we leave for the track. And so you will have to see what happens with that in my race vlog. I will detail all that in my race vlog of getting my old Vortex installed, making sure this thing runs, and then possibly putting the new Vortex in before we race this weekend, because I want a whole shot, man. I want the whole shots back. So anyway, that'll wrap it up for this video. This thing is relatively ready to go, besides, of course, the Vortex. I got to get a filter in there. I cleaned some filters yesterday, so need to get one oiled up and in the quad. And then other than that, I just need to, I'm going to give this thing a quick bath either tonight or tomorrow, and get all this mud and stuff off so that way it looks decent, and then throw my plastics on and head to the track to do some racing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it didn't feel rushed or anything like that, because it kind of was. I've been scrambling trying to get everything done and done right and all that, and so yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's been good trying to get everything done, and hopefully make this thing a little bit of a better quad before the race this weekend. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.